Let me give you a few techniques to help you recover when you drop a stitch. So we're going to start here. Right now we have no stitches dropped, and then oops, we just dropped one. So there's a couple of different stages when it can happen, right? So now we've got it and you can see the loop right there. So you can just put it back on the needle, right? So that's the easiest way. Now, maybe it's gotten pulled and you're not quite sure which way it goes back on the needle. Well, you can also try to slip it on the needle and then say, well, that doesn't quite look right because it doesn't look like the way the next one looks. Like this leg is in front, is on top, and this one is down lower. So maybe you have to move it around. Maybe you have to use your left-hand needle to switch how the stitch is sitting. So in this case, all of a sudden this front leg is down below, so that doesn't look right. So I'm just going to use my right-hand needle and my left-hand needle to turn it around, and now the front leg is up higher and that looks right. So I've now recovered that stitch. If you end up with a bigger problem, so let's say that you actually drop it and you've gone down a row, right? So you've got this extra bit of yarn and you've got this loop. The first thing you want to do is just pick up the loop, right? So stop the bleeding. Just get that loop back on the needle. And now you can look and say, okay, I've got this extra bit of yarn from the next row up. I just am going to reknit the stitch. And there's ways to do that. And so one of the ways to do that is you just keep this stitch on your left-hand needle, which is where it would have been. Wrap the yarn behind the needle the way you would if you were knitting it, and then pull the stitch over that new piece of yarn, and you've now recovered that stitch. And it looks like it's sitting the right way. This front leg is up a little higher, and if you look at it, it looks the same as the stitches below. So that's another way that you can recover a drop stitch if it's gotten pulled apart a little bit more. And those are some tips and tricks for recovering drop stitches.